How's it going, everybody? Today it is time to change our chickens' bed sheets. We use a deep litter method, so throughout the winter I have come in here and added more pine shavings and just keep building it up basically. So this has months and months and months worth of poop in it. So it's time, now that it's spring, to pull all of this out and put fresh bedding in for them. I'm going to start by removing their water and feeder so we don't get debris in it. Not that it matters, because it looks like their water is full of debris already. Okay, now that that's out, I'm going to remove the snow block that I installed just before winter so we can allow air to flow through the run and get some more sunlight in there for them. Man, I wish you guys could be here. It smells so good. Yeah, just kidding. It smells like a petting zoo. But that's why we're cleaning this up. So everything is fresh and smells like pine shavings again. Before I go any further, I'm gonna harvest our eggs. Get those out of the way. Look at that. Every single chicken laid an egg today. That hasn't happened in a while. Many months, actually. And I dropped one, and another. Good thing they fell on mulch. We're good. Over the winter, I broke 2 eggs on 2 different occasions in my coat pocket and had to wash my coats. That was a mess. These are leftover pumpkins from last Halloween. I was feeding them to the chickens, but then everything froze and the snow covered it all up, and it was basically a big rock of pumpkin. So I'll shred that stuff up and throw it in the compost pile. Alright, the way I designed my coop allows me to open up the back door here and drag all of their bedding out right into the wheelbarrow. So I'm going to start by cleaning up the inside of their coop here. Okay, now that I've dragged all of their bedding out, I have it in the wheelbarrow here. I'm going to take this up to our cherry orchard and spread it out over the orchard. A lot of this poop, most of this poop has been in here for so long that it has broken down, it's rotted basically, so it's not going to damage any of the plants out there. And anything that is fresh in here is going to break down by the time it gets down to the roots anyway, and it's not going to damage any of our vegetation. Alright, now that we cleaned all the debris out of the coop, I'm going to clean everything out of the run. Alright, I'm going to take this load back up to the cherry orchard and finish off fertilizing that area. You know, I think the best part about having chickens, the eggs are great, but you can give them all your scrap food, you can return their eggshells to them. Basically, they don't produce any waste. The waste that they produce gets thrown back on the garden to feed the garden, which gets turned back into food for us, which the scraps get fed back to them. It's a complete circle. I think that's pretty cool. Right now I'm just trying to remove a lot of the larger bedding material that's on top, and I'm throwing that on our orchards, so when the spring rains come and start beating on the ground, all those nutrients from their manure and any leftover scraps that were in here will all get driven down into the ground to feed the root system of all of our trees and vegetables. Everything that's underneath all this bigger stuff, they've been working this all winter long, tilling it up, pushing those nutrients down to the bottom of this bedding. I'm gonna filter all that little stuff and throw it on our compost pile so that I can filter it again right before I throw it on the garden beds. So that will help feed all of our vegetables in the gardens. You're probably not going to be able to see them in video, but I wonder if you can hear them. There's about 75 sandhill cranes up there floating on the heat raising off the surface of the earth. Well, that 75 cranes has turned into about 1,000 or more. The whole sky is black up there with cranes just circling around, riding the heat waves. It's neat. It's cool to see that many cranes. They used to be nearly endangered. I mean, sandhill cranes are prolific now. I think they're the most abundant crane. But still, nonetheless, it's cool to see those pterodactyls up there flying around. I think it's about time you make sandhill cranes legal to hunt in Wisconsin, DNR. I hear they're pretty tasty. Get preoccupied with the cranes and a chicken gets out. Come on. Yep. I see you're squatting for me. I'm not gonna mate with you. Let's get you back inside the coop, inside the run. There. Now the powers that be in the town of McGuanago aren't gonna come and arrest me. Alright, I've dumped a load of used bedding at the base of each one of my trees in the orchard. So I'm just going to work this into the top layer of mulch. As I mentioned, the coming spring rains will work all these nutrients down into the ground so the trees can utilize it. Remember to keep the mulch a little ways off the base of the trees so it doesn't retain moisture right at the base of the tree and cause rot. Want to make sure you can get enough airflow around the base of the tree there. All right. Now that I've taken a lot of the larger bedding material and thrown it around the base of my trees. I've got my sifter here. I made this. This is a 1/2 inch hardware cloth sifter. So I'm gonna rake up the remaining smaller broken down bedding material in here and sift it through this, and that really fine manure and the nutrient rich, basically it's turning into soil already down here. The stuff below this it's dirt, just very rich dirt. So I'm gonna take that and sift it and throw it on our compost pile and work it in really well and kind of try and bring that compost pile back to life after it's been dormant through the winter. And then when it comes time to start working the garden beds, we'll have super rich homemade compost to throw onto the garden beds to feed our vegetables through the season. Kind of feel like a zookeeper cleaning a bunch of poop out of an exhibit. All right, all this bigger stuff that's left, I'm just gonna throw right here. Look at how rich this stuff is. It's breaking down already, like I said, turning into soil. This is just loaded with nutrients. Take a look at that. That's going to be a great addition to our garden beds. Okay, we're back at the compost pile. This compost is primarily leaf and grass litter from last season. Every time that we'd mow the yard, we've got a clipping catcher, so we'd throw all of our clippings on here. In the fall, we'd mix all of our leaves in with it. So we've got a lot of carbon and nitrogen tied up in this pile, but we're coming out of winter, so it needs to be turned and needs to get activated again. We need to get that oxygen in there to start heating it up again, breaking things down. I've added some chicken poop throughout the winter to the top of the pile here. Other than that, all I've really added this winter has been coffee grounds. All of our food waste, all of our food scraps and stuff that I would typically throw on here, I've just been giving to the chickens. It saves me a little bit on chicken feed, keeps them alive and happy, and then they poop it out and we return their poop to the compost. So either way, it's making its way here. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of sifted chicken litter here, a bunch of manure mixed in with it. So I'm gonna turn this pile, and as I'm turning it, I'm gonna mix this in just to try and thoroughly mix it within everything here. It's nice to have this large of a compost pile coming into the gardening season. Last year our pile was relatively small and I really wasn't able to add too much compost to the garden beds. So if the success of our garden can be gauged at all by the size of our compost pile, I think it's going to be a pretty good season. Alright, now that I've got all the old bedding cleaned out of the coop and the run, I'm going to start by adding new bedding to the coop. And we put straw in the nesting boxes, so I'll put some straw in there too. We use Tractor Supply premium pine shavings. They're flake style. I'm gonna include the links to products that I use in this video in the description. They are affiliate links, so at no cost to you, if you purchase one of these products through that link, the Green Acre will get some kickback from Tractor Supply to help fund future videos for us. So it would help us out a lot if you did that. Thank you. Alright, pine shavings are in the coop. I like to use a different bedding material than what I use in the coop and in the run. It kind of helps them distinguish between an area that they can go to the bathroom and an area that's clean and secluded for them to lay their eggs. That should do. Alright, now that the coop and the nesting boxes are done, I can add the remainder of our pine shavings to the run. Chaos. Tell you what, this is looking much better already. I might spend the night out here too. Now that the bedding is all taken care of, I can clean out their water and refill it and put it back out there for them. Alright, their water is clean. I'm going to add in electrolytes. So I'll do electrolytes in one fill, and then the following fill I'll do USDA organic, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. I'll do that at a ratio of 1 tablespoon per gallon. So this holds 3 gallons, which means I put 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in here. But right now I'm going to use this. This is a vitamin and electrolyte for poultry supplement that I include in their water. You can get this at Tractor Supply as well. It comes with a little scooper inside here. Little scooper so you get the exact amount per gallon you need. And then they're just little yellow granular, they look like little rocks basically, little crystals. And you just put this in at 1 spoonful per gallon. And I think it smells pretty good too. This is a heated water. I'm still going to leave it plugged in and heating for the time being because we've got some frost coming up and actually some snow yet in our schedule for the coming week. So I'm going to keep this plugged in just to make sure their water doesn't freeze at night. I think they worked up a thirst in all that commotion I put them through today. Alright, now that we got their water taken care of, I can fill their feed. I use Nature's Best organic feeds. So this is USDA organic egg layer pellets. You can also get this at Tractor Supply. I like to use hanging feeders because it just keeps the feed and the water a little bit up off the ground, so they're not getting as much crap mixed in with it. But they still find a way to get debris up into their water and feed. I just like to think it's not as much as if it were on the ground. Watch out, let me through. This white one always has to eat. Oh my God, see what you guys did? If you would just wait, as I was saying, always likes to peck my ring or buttons on my clothes. It's really annoying. There. Was that so hard? Since I put them through a stressful day, I've got some expired Chobani Greek yogurt, apples, and strawberries that I'm going to give them. Because you ladies were so good. I also added some crushed eggshells to their feed to provide some supplemental calcium for them. So that was a day of spring cleaning, some chicken housekeeping. The ladies are happy, I'm happy. Happy chickens lay healthy eggs. If you think any of the products I used today would be beneficial to you, please feel free to follow the link in the description and purchase them through Tractor Supply. As mentioned, we will receive a kickback on that, which will help us to continue to improve our content and continue to bring you videos weekly. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something today, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.